before I start painting, I get a frame, or I build one. You know, it's a good idea to build a sty before getting the pigs. Then I saw my masonite board to fit the frame, and I go over my board with a linseed oil, and then I put 3 coats of flat white paint. I use masonite or hard wood because it would last longer than canvas. Oh, it's a lot of work, but you know, of course everything is. Everything is. There's always work to be done on a farm. Never painted a picture, a proper picture, till I was 72. And my arthritis got so bad I couldn't do my tours. Always work for able hands to be doing. I was one of 10 children. My mother was 11, father 15, and my husband 12. Well, you needed children in those days. We had 10, Thomas and I, but there were only 5 that grew. One lived to be 6 weeks. The others were dead-born, or stillborn, they call it now. But they had to have graves just the same. 5 little graves we left in that beautiful Shenandoah Valley. It's difficult to realize how we grew up at all times being what they were. They were so hard. When I was just 12 years old, I left my home to make a living as what was called a hired girl. Now, this was a grand education in cooking, house cleaning, and moralizing. Some years later, I got myself a better position with the Jameses, where Thomas Moses was already working, and as he was the hired man and I was the hired girl, well, naturally we became acquainted. Next year, that'd be 1887, we got married and left upstate New York for Virginia, and we bought ourselves that little farm in the Shenandoah. Sometimes in the early morning, I'd be sitting at the butter churn, looking out over that valley, and I would think to myself just how I would paint it. Of course, it would be years before I got to. Well, we had several farms down in Virginia. But when the big one failed, we moved back up to New York State and bought this little dairy farm in Eagle Bridge. Been there ever since. You see, I'm a country person. Never even saw a big city till I was 84. And that's when I went to New York City for a Thanksgiving celebration at Gimbel's Auditorium. They'd hung the Grandma Moses pictures, and it was rush here, rush there, shake hands, shake, shake, shake. I would never even recognize those people now, but it was shake, shake, shake. Oh. Just before I went up on the platform, somebody handed me one of those little old lady bouquets, and somebody else pinned something on my sweater. It felt like just like a little black bug, but I know I was going to look down. So it was a microphone. It was a microphone. So while I was just chatting away with that nice Mrs. Johnson, who showed me around all day, I was talking to 400 people. Well, I suppose those folks went to some bother to make my visit pleasant. But I'm a country person. It's what I know, it's what I paint. People working, land, barn raising, holidays, the village square, the changing seasons. You know, at the start, when Mr. Calder first took my pictures to the city, and lots of folks didn't think much of them. That's not art. It's childish. It's primitive, they called it. Well, I don't mind. I just painted what I saw. Do you know? When it's gone, maybe people will look at my pictures to remember what the childhood of America was like. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Yeah.